Martin's music. All right. Marshall, graphic designer. And
professional.
Okay. Content.
Contemporary.
Okay. Okay. All right. Victory. Okay. IT. Yeah. All right. Sir. Okay.
Fashion designer.
Oh, awesome. Great. Okay. Aspiring UI UX designer. Why do you say aspiring? It doesn't mean you're who you are, irrespective if you found full expression or not. I told you, we always, even at the point in time where when you get to the point where you think you are a UX designer, then you are not, because you've plateaued, right? So at every point in time, you're finding expression of how to become better. That's it. So you are a UX designer, right? Okay, you can do it within your own little, and what you can do, you'll be surprised that a lot of people can do even that small and think you can do that, is making you say how much time. You understand? All right. So confidence in yourself, very and super important. Welcome to Creative Economic class. I'm going to take us to the basic components of this class. So I'm going to do three things. It's going to be a lot of talking, a lot of questions, and some videos just to make it calm. I believe people have different ways where they assimilate, right? So in the conversations we will have, I would get us to engage, right? So I can learn from you. And I'll share my opinion, my thoughts, and then we'll watch some very short clips, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minute clips, interval, just to give us a break. Welcome. All right. Online audience, I greet you. I can't see every one of you, but I hope you can hear me. So exciting to be here. We want to sincerely apologize for taking so much time before we started, but I'm going to tell you something. It's going to watch your while, right? So as we go, if you have any questions, please reach out. You can send a chat, you can raise your hand, and my attention will be drawn so I can attend to you guys, right? So you could just do some sort of introduction on the chat box, tell us your name and what you do. So my colleague could actually let me know. Ma, please, your name and what you do. You're spoken word poet and singer. Awesome. So we have artists, music artists, we have graphic artists, we have UI UX, and we have IT. Awesome, and we have fashion design, which is a great combination. So we are actually in a real creative class, right? Awesome. Okay, so what I want to do today is just get us to start thinking. Like, get us to think. You guys went through the module yesterday, right? Right? Okay. So I just want to get us to think and think deep about what we do, how important it is, the opportunities that exist, and what we really want to do with it, right? Okay, so can someone tell me what one top artist in Africa that you know, music artist, top, like if you call the person anywhere in Africa, they should know the person. Anyone? Burna Boy, awesome. Whiskey, awesome. All right, after that's not Nigerian. Angelique Kidjo, all right. Diamond Platinum, okay. Do you know I just knew about him yesterday when I was wearing sugar. No, funny enough, when I was wearing this rich and famous African stuff, I was like, okay, all right. And the guy was good. Like I was like, okay, how come I didn't know this guy? But you see how important it is. The guy is popular. He knows it. I don't know him. I actually know him just because do you get so? But no, I'll take you to where we are going. Let me not jump. Now, fashion designers, top fashion designers in Africa. Africana. Do you know Africana? All right. Ebewili Brown. Do you know him? Okay. Any other person? Okay. Top graphic artist in Africa. It's funny, right? It's funny, like it's amazing. Do you know a graphic artist? That's very good.
Yes.
Do you know one? 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 How come we don't have a top graphic artist in Africa? Isn't that amazing? And nobody's thinking that there's a throne on field. Ah. All right, my slide. Okay, so first, before we go into my session, so welcome guys. Please, can we just bring out your phones? Let's go and talk about the program using the hashtag CEEP Hub Training, right? Tell us your experience from yesterday, your experience from today. Just at least so that we can know that something is happening, right? Create a buzz for us. Okay, someone online. Yeah, question or introduction? Introduction, okay. How many of them? Okay. So while you do that, let me just hear so that I can.
Okay, so apologies, someone online says people on ground, people and they consider us with the expecting here. Now I'm going to say data, so online we have Modessa, she's a screenwriter, photographer.
Okay.
We have Hawa Rosaya, she's a product photographer.
Okay.
We have Hawa Morege, a cinematographer and graphic designer.
Hi, Morege.
Yeah, Chinelo Oye, fashion designer.
Hi, Chinelo.
Josephine, Christopher, the name actual shoemaker, graphic designer.
Okay, hi, Josephine. Shoemaker, I need to come and learn from you.
And Victor, the photographer, cinematographer, UI UX designer as well.
Okay, Victor, hi, how are you? Okay, welcome guys. I'm so glad to have you. And sincerely, once again, we apologize for keeping you guys waiting, right? Thank you for being here. Now, please also go online and let's create a tweet, Instagram posts about the program using this hashtag CEEP Hub Training. That should just take us like 2 minutes and then we go. Next slide. Next. Okay, so today I'll be taking us through intro to the African creative economy, bringing your idea to life, finding the right people, building your business, and branding and marketing your business. I'm sure a lot of you have gone through this courses or this program, and some of you actually do this, right? But what I said, I'm just going to make us think deeper, right? So that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to make us think, like, how can you explore the ones you have and the ones that already exist? That's all I'm going to do. Just give us a little bit mind shift. Next slide. All right, so I wanted to see how best to introduce the creative economy to us. But I think that's part of the economy that is being untapped in Africa. That's the truth. It's not tapped. We've not even scratched it. We do it a lot, but it's not organized, and we don't have data for it. And because we don't have data, that's why we actually don't know the top graphic artists in Nigeria. And if you don't know that, then it means you're missing the fun that comes with it. Because every time you're able to create a throne and a ladder, it means there's economics in there. But the moment you don't have a throne and a ladder, it means the economics is lost. How many of us know Dangote? We all do, right? So why do we know him? Now, sincerely, let's come home. Is he the richest man in Nigeria? No, it's funny, right? Is it the richest man in Nigeria? Why? So we have the knowledge that the world doesn't have. Why is practically the richest in Nigeria according to the world, right? Because that's the only person that have data concerning. Do you see how it plays out? So you could actually be mighty. You could be more than the guys in UK, in America, but you are not known because it's not backed with data. Do you understand? So what we need to do to stir up this African economy is now begin to organize data. It's now begin to collaborate. It's now begin to build systems and structures, right? That people can go and make reference. And so you can't be a designer that you're just doing for only the people you want to, or have bad customer service because you are sewing for Osibanjo. You can't do that. Do you understand? And you know how we do here when you have some sort of clientele, you become alpha and omega, nobody can talk to you, nobody can waste your time. And that's why each time you go off the radar, you no longer exist. And then someone else starts again from the beginning because you're not thinking about, oh, shouldn't be me. It should be an institution that grows and sustains itself and that keeps living on after me, after my children, after like the 10th generation. We don't think that way. So why we do what we do, if it's the graphics, if it's the photography, if it's the UI, UX, right? You need to think, how do I make this an institution that outlives me? How? What am I going to do? How should I even go about it? Because it's no fun if everything you're doing will only happen or be known within your space, within the people you interact with. It's not fun. You're not changing anything. You're doing what every other person does. But if you begin to see, okay, how can I set up this business, this expression that it will have a life of its own? That's when you started thinking. That's when you started doing business. So, you know, as creatives, we live in our world. You know that, right? We have our own reality and it's real than any other person's own. But sometimes you need to pause and say, how can I make this reality have a life that people can live inside and not just be in its own bakery? That's the real work. And that's why we are moving you from creative to creative entrepreneurship. Because if you can't connect to a lot of people's problems, then that expression is not actually fulfilling purpose. What do entrepreneurs do? Solve problems. But what do creatives do? They innovate. So innovating means to solve, to come up with genuine ideas, right? Come up with solutions. So why have all the creatives not been solving problems? So these are things that you need to think about when you're expressing yourself in any form that you find yourself. You need to ask yourself, this expression that I'm about to release into the universe, what problem would it solve? How would it make the universe a better place for someone out there? These are the things you need to deeply think about every time you're in that euphoria of creation, right? Now, so let me take you to some thoughts around the Industrial Revolution, right? So how do the creatives then work? The creatives then work thinking, man, it's stressful moving from here to Lagos every day by foot. Doesn't make sense, right? The creatives then, right? That's thinking about. And they're like, okay, you know what? I can make this easy. I can slide from here to Lagos. And I know now you see some place that you can't go up anymore. And then they start thinking, okay, what can we do? And then they said, okay, you know what? We can turn this triangle and turn it and turn it and turn it. and then it will get us there. And they're like, boy, it's stressful. It's even better I walk than to begin to turn triangle, right? And I say, oh, no, let's make it a square. Square is easy. Like, okay, but every time I'm always hitting my head. I'm like, you know what? Let's just smooth the edges. And then they made it circle, right? And then they made a wheel. From the wheel part, the rest is history. But they were just expressing themselves, right? But the deep thinking allows them to now explore those thoughts and then begin to do things that for now we are forever grateful for them, right? So that's how you should see your work. Whether it's the music. How many of you know this song? My guy, now your eyes, it's happening. They do like say it doesn't happen. No shaking, nothing will happen. Never well. Why did you relate to it? When did I sing that song? Long time ago. But you know, the creativity in that, you can still resonate with it now. Because you know what? True, your eye will sharpen. True or false? True. People no one die, but they won't go heaven. True or false? So the lyrics, forget the reading now. The lyrics of the song, till 20 years from now, you will still relate with it. You right? How many of you know? I mean, no. You want to bamba? No, is there anybody here that doesn't want to chill with the big boys? No. But wait, is there any, first, literally, forget the consequences. Is there anybody that doesn't want to chill with the big boys? You are the big boy, right? but you understand. Now, so sometimes, right? And you know, this is it. You need to be able to create a balance, right? You need to be able to fully express yourself, but also connect to the problem that people are facing. And why a lot of people can face it is because, you know, within this time and space, the whole cultism, ritual, it's at an all-time high, right? And so now you could understand the messaging of the song, because you will know that there is one person that is close to one person that you know that is either having issues with cultists or issues with kidnappers or issues. Like there's someone that you know, do you understand? Either 3 persons away from you or 2 persons away from you that has either entered the bad part of it, like being a victim, or a victor getting gain from it. Do you understand? And so it's real to you, like the messaging is very real to you, because that's society you find yourself. Now that's how you begin to think about your creative work. So I told you, you're just gonna get you to think and think and think. So it's not just about making that nice dress or doing that UI UX based on what you see online, or singing a song because this is the music that's bringing, or creating that content because you just want to get it, it's a job done. You want to be sure that with every work that you put in, you are solving a problem. As fun as that song is, you know, it gets everybody to think. You know, it gets everybody to think. When you finish listening to the live, oh man, since they happen. When you dance to the song, but you still go back and say, man, since they happen. That's what you want to do. You want to connect to your audience. You want to connect and say, this is me, this is my full expression. But deep down, I want you to think about this. Let me not bore you too much. I'm going to run through the different parts of the creative industries and why you are all here and why you have different areas. And then I'm going to run through what the African creative economy is contributing to the world creative industry. And you're going to be amazed. All right. So you cannot, no. So you cannot find yourself here, right? So you're either in the media space or the consumption space or the cultural space or the technology space, right? I think I have a lot more people towards the culture, right? Right? Here, like the audience, a lot of people are towards the culture, some technology. Have I seen any media? No, I've not seen any media. more consumption culture and technology. These are the audience we have here, right? So you can see yourself there. And then the question for me is, how have you promoted your culture to the world from this place? How have you? Or what you're doing is you're whitewashing. You're just taking the Europe things and you're just pushing it out to us back. But the real gain, doesn't it amaze you that you see whites coming to Nigeria, Africa, Ghana to set up a restaurant, and they do an African themed restaurant in Africa? But Africans do an European themed restaurant in Africa. Does it not amaze you? And do you know who goes to the African themed restaurant made by Europeans? Africans. And we pay a lot. So the thing is, where the wealth is, we're shying away because we're not proud of what we have. And then we allow others to come harvest where we are the ones that owns the raw materials. It's amazing, like it's funny. Sometimes I just like, what is wrong with us as a people? So we need to think deep, right? We need to think deep and say, what do we want to do? And how do we move from here to where we ought to be, right? Next slide. So why is it important to us? Let's next slide. So it's the African economy, the African creative economy contributes 1%, like 1% in revenue. 1%. The whole of South Africa, Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, Morocco, all of us gathered together, we contribute just 1% to the global creative economy. But do you know the funny thing? If they should break down the creative work itself, the content itself, I'm sure we are more than 50, we have more than 50% of the content. So we need to start thinking, how do we change the narrative? How do we ensure that everyone seated here in the next 10 years are part of the reason why Africa now contributes 20%? And the only way you can do that is to think deep and see your business as not just that small business in Kenya, that small business in Zimbabwe, that small business in Lagos. No, you must see it as that African business to the world. And until you begin to see your business in that way, you will not be able to help us change the narrative that we want to change. And so my desire and my heart on it is that in 10, 20 years from now, I walk into a store in Paris, and then I would go into the fashion house, and it will be his, one of his branch, and it will be known as the best in France. That is my desire. That's what I want to see. And that is one of like 50 that he has across the globe. That is what I want to see. I want to see that I have a project for the UN, and the person that did the content, I was worth a lot of millions, was her. That's what I want to see. And until we begin to think and see ourselves that way, it won't come to pass. But the way it will start is for us to even see it, for us to even desire it, for us to dream it, for us to believe that it is possible. And so my challenge for you is begin to see us as change makers in the creative space. Begin to set up businesses that is not just for you and not just for feeding, no. That it's a business that wants to create 40,000 jobs yearly, and that you are employing people across the globe. right? That's it. What stops us from owning a record label that is global? Is there anything stopping us? Think about it. What's stopping us? The real thing that's stopping us is we ourselves, because we like my team. That's all. You know how everything is like, I am CEO, founder, chief chopper, everything. That's it. That's the problem we have. And we need to move away from that mindset and go into the mindset and see, I'm building an enterprise. And the thing is, whatever is best to make the enterprise run and be global, that's what I'll do. If it takes me to lead, yes. If it takes me to sit and watch people lead, yes, I'll do that, whatever it takes. And until we get to that space and that thinking, this won't happen. So guys, yes, please. Yes, please.
You said global creative one equally, they're just one African contribute to all of this 1%. Then we talked about how content if we check it for usually contribute to 50%. I don't understand.
Okay, so the content itself is the work. So if you go into art now, most of the if you go to an exhibition in UK, right? A lot of the content you will see, a lot of the content, the inspiration is from here. The one that makes a lot of money. Because we have the content. But we are not the one pushing the content. We are not the one positioning for the content. I also explained to you that, okay, if you go to very good restaurants in Nigeria, how many of you have been to Nkoyo? The one in Abuja here. What's the team that? Is it Nigeria? The people, it's funny, but that's the truth. That's the content. So they're selling your content to you. And you're buying it because you can resonate with it. But you're not the one making the money from it.
So you need like 50% the content, but they do the business.
That's what I'm saying. So we are the, okay, so look at Facebook. What's making Facebook very powerful? The content, Abby. What's the content? Who creates the content? How many of you have met Nigeria Twitter? Try and go to another Twitter that is not Nigeria Twitter. Boring as hell. Like boring is the full definition of it. Do you understand? So we are the content kings, but we are the ones that are most impoverished from even the content that we create. Do you understand? Because we are not harnessing it. Go and check your, is it Reels now? Go and check your Reels. Just scroll through. All the things that you'll be excited about, go and check. It has your, is that they are using your music on the background, or they are using your style, or they are using your dance, or they are using, like, go and check. Right? So, and that's why you need to begin to think deeper into how do you structure this and ensure that you're gaining value from it. That's it. Own your content, own your expression. And sometimes for this to work, you also need to collaborate because the games of numbers, right? So one time when me and my friend were having a conversation about business startups and all that, and I said, the problem we have in Nigeria is Nigerians would like to have 100% ownership of a 1 million business than have 10% of a $100 million business. That's our problem. Do you understand? For which it pays us more? The 10%. Because the 10% is 10 million. Like, what is wrong with you? Why do you want to have 100% of 1 million when you can have 10 million? Like, does that make sense? But no, that's like, we just want to be the boss. Like, no, it doesn't work like that. And we build everything with us, our emotions, we want it, we do things. That's not how business works. Because it should have a life of its own, and you should have a life of your own. Some of the brands that we engage with in this part of the world, the owners, they have died, they're dead every day. Like, but we still engage with them like they still exist. How many of our brands? How many of our brands are the owners dead and we still use? How much? Everything. Oh yeah, no. Do we still use? No, no. Do we still use? People will listen to his music normal because music is never. But do we see? The way we should have milked Fela, like we should have a Fela City. I'm serious. We should have no. See what they are doing to shrine. We should have that shrine practically in every country in Africa. Do you understand? We should have like a mega headquarters somewhere, and then we have branches all over the world. Well, even that one now, wait now. After these two set of generation, you'll be shocked. Now even the children say that even have the talent as this strong. That's how. You understand where everything? Okay, next slide. I think I want us to watch one. I've brought our spirit down too much. Let's take it up. Let's watch just small intro, break, and transmission. Let's get excited, happy. So this thing is pretty advanced. Okay, so look at this song, right? You know, there's no, before you scroll, I go 1, 2, 3, 10 on Instagram, you will know you see one skit that they've used that white drama, like across the globe. Why have we not made this? Why are we not the ones making it crazy dough from it? And they'll tell you that the amino is not our own, this thing, blah, 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 blah. I mean, is that not what they'll tell you? Okay, but please, is there anybody that is an original creator? Tell me now. Somebody that just created things without copying from anybody. One person. No, now leave there. Wait, is there? Go and check the concept, like any concept that you've seen. Go and check the lyrics of anybody. You will see that 3 lines is from one other person's, true of us. So how come when it comes to you, they now tell you that you said you not believe they copy? So you need to think deep. You need to be sure that you are not smiling that you're fighting. You need to also know the value of what you bring to the table. Because if you don't know the value of what you bring to the table, you will now meet with the people that know how to take value from it and give them nothing. But if you know the value you bring to the table, you take it from the conversation, right? So let's think. So all I'm just going to do today is just, guys, guess what will happen when we finish this session? You go home, you're going to be angry with yourself. Like you're going to be very, very angry with yourself. But should I tell you, if you're able to cross through that anger to the next stage, you're going to explode. Like you will not even believe what you would make out of the work that you're currently doing. Like people will tell you, calm down, wait, you're going to catch one fire and one light, that it will transform. Like, see, people from your village will know that this guy, something has happened to him. That's what will happen. So I'm just here to provoke us, to get us angry. Because it's a global stage, but you limited yourself to one, we'll say two, one. Why? What's your what's that? People are creating their own content in a room and they're going global, but you are creating content in the city, or you are now going inside. Like, how now? What's this? Why? So if you really believe in yourself, and begin to see yourself as a global citizen, then you know the place that you have to play, right? It's the world, right? And then it changes how you think, it changes how you process, right? Because you now need to find yourself, how do I create a structure to ensure that I can service the global world? That's it. Next slide. All right. So I'm going to teach you how to bring this idea that you have to life. Now, some of you have already started your ideas, right? Yeah, some of you have already started your business. Some of you have, like this, you are in your fourth expression. Did you get it? Like you're in your fourth expression. Some of you are in your fifth. Some of you are even about to even find that expression that you express, right? Now, this is how you do it. You know, I told you when I was giving my former conversation that no one has originality to idea, right? You pick and you take from some, right, that already exist. So the first thing you want to do is have an idea machine or an idea bank, right? How does that work? So I'm having a conversation with you now. Some of you are taking notes, some of you are not. You see those guys are taking notes, it's called an idea machine. So those notes, you just jot them down. And then you begin to welcome. You begin to build on them as time goes on. You understand? So you have an idea machine where as the idea comes, do you know how many ideas that you've had since 4 years ago till now? Crazy, right? But where are those ideas? So one day you were going, you saw somebody do it, Kabi. So you're not the only one that they release it to. Because as it's dropping on you, it's dropping on someone else. What you do with it is what matters. But you know the funny thing? There's no hurry. Just ensure you're documenting it. Guess what? When you get the means, you can always bring it back and give it more life. You understand? But if you don't have it documented, then you've lost it. So as you have a idea book, I like to have an idea book where you just, as it's coming, whether you're ready to work on it or not, just, and as you get more insight, go back and flesh it out. The day it crystallizes, you will know. And then if you're able to see how it grows global and have a life of its own, you can run with it. So always have. You know when you blow now, when you start sowing for like maybe 8 presidents in Africa, you know you have time to be creative again, right? That's what happens to you. But guess what? If you have your idea bank that you've done over the years, you just go and pull out one that you did like 2 years when you first started. And they're like, wow, this is beautiful. Oh, guys, beautiful because you have now blown. Do you understand? So that's it. But if you now don't have that, and see, this is the reason why you see people plateau a lot in Africa. They are waiting to blow first to do the work. Oh, God, when you've blown, you don't have time. The only time you have time is when you've not blown, when you're not known. Have you not seen some very nice eateries that will spring up in the city? And then you will go there, all of a sudden that service was awesome. When they first started, it was just 2 people that was doing. Then when they now tell the whole world and then we now go there every day, hey, they will now use like 5 hours to tell you to come and take your order, and then 10 hours to come and give it to you. You're like, why am I here now? Then you leave before you know it. Why? Because they don't have an idea bank in terms of thinking. Okay, so if this happens, what should we do? If this happens, what should we do? Right? So you want to have an idea bank where you just drop thoughts as it comes. Building blocks. Always have something you're leveraging on, right? It could be seminars, lectures, mentors, right? It could be research. So I used to have issues with my software development guys. And this is the reason. You see now. So they used to make me believe that tech is one big thing. And me, I used to tell them that, who is doing UI UX here? Ah, okay. So tell me, this is the fight I used to have with them. I used to tell them that UI UX is glorified graphic designer. They used to get angry. Eh? I'm like, okay, what do you do now? I said, is it not look and feel? And then they are confused. I'm like, your work is look and feel now. And then they're like, no. I'm like, okay, so tell me your work. They say user experience. I say user experience is feeling now. Abi, is it not feeling? Please, graphics, what do we do? Is it not look and feel? Is Oyibo that just, you see out there, they will just use English and increase the money. That's it now. Wait, is it not? And you know, in the funny thing, see, the graphic designer is the hard work. The UI UX is the chilled work. But they've now made the chilled work like one script because if you want to do UI UX, you have very limited apps now, Abi? Yeah, after Figma. What else? Nah, lie. So see now, they will tell you that you first prototype, Abi, and use paper, Abi, and biro and pencil, Abi. Graphic designer, how many things do you use to do your work? Please, Canva is content, Canva is not graphic. Canva is not graphic. You are using Canva, but it's sure me and you are the same. I should just go and collect your job. So the thing about graphic designer is they actually have to do the work. There's no ready-made this thing that will help you tilt. No, you have to all the tilting and you have to do it. Abi, how many graphic designers do we have in the house? You know how the work is now. For every exposure that like you need to move and construct and create. But for Figma, no, now just select it now and put it there, bam. Don't mind. But you understand what I'm saying. So it's look and feel. That's the core, right? So the same skill set, but interpretations are different and the tools are different. And the results are also different. Because when you're saying your UI UX, they're looking at, oh, you're creating a product, right? Now, why graphics is not that big, it's because it's a subset of your work. Because a graphic designer would only do maybe the button, that's all. Abi? And then he would do the banner, that's all. Abi? And he would do the landing picture, so Abi? And it will just, you see, but you now bring all of it together and use it to communicate. Abi? The feeling. You now become UI UX. Do you see how this thing works? So have building blocks. So building blocks for UI UX is that, okay, you have a graphic designer or you have the skill set. You have people that you talk to. You understand, that have that experience. I don't want to go into fashion now. Oga will just push me because we say, Oga, don't try me. If you tell fashionista that Taylor Laurent, you say, what's that? Boy, it's Taylor Laurent, right? I mean, don't mind me. But you understand. So there's a beginning for every stream of work that you need to do. There's a base, right? So ensure that you have skill sets or you have expertise in some of those things. It just helps you. It gives you leverage, right? If you see a graphics designer that is a UI UX guy, you would know because their quality is always top notch. You understand? But if you meet the normal product guy that just goes into UI UX, you will know because when you are telling him that, God, he won't understand because he doesn't understand how to move around the same color, but there's a light switch that you to give it that feel that you want. You got understand? So that's it. So have building blocks. Think big. I think I've already busted your brains on this something else, right? Don't be that guy in Wuse creating product for Wuse. Please be that guy in Wuse creating product for Africa, creating products for Europe, creating product for America. Don't just limit yourself. Because at the point where you start limiting yourself, then you're not helping us. You're not helping us solve the problem that we want to solve, right? And the problem is we want to make Africa become one of the major contributors of the creative economy in 10 years, right? That's the goal. So we need to ensure that we are building for the world and not just for our states or the people that we know. Yes, it's good to start there, right? Which is very because you need to be alive now. Would it not be alive for you to? And if hungry, it's about you. Yeah, so there's a balance. Do you understand? There's a balance. There's the big goal, but there's the we need to eat now. I mean, so for us to eat now, I'm just going to give you this consulting for free. I don't know why I feel somebody here needs it. So I consulted for a baker. I think 2009. I did a business plan for him. And he just wanted to do cakes. I was like, okay. He just wanted to do. I said, bros, do you trust me? It's okay. I will give you the best counsel. So I did this business plan, and then I broke down his products into 3. I did it. It's very big. It was just doing wedding cakes, and I did this business plan because that's what he wanted to see. He doesn't want to see any other. It's okay. For our work, we do wedding cakes. Maybe we get 1 every weekend or 2 every weekend. Max, we are successful 4 every weekend, right? But the problem is, the bills we would send, we would leave every day, I mean, and we can't wait till Saturday for us to be alive now. Right? So I said, you know what? Let's do wedding cakes. And wedding cakes, we don't know. Because you're not the one that will determine whether people should get married or not. And there's the tendency of you to know the people that want to get married. It's also scarce, right? Okay, but there's one that is even more common. Birthday. There's every tendency, at least you will get 1 person in a month that is doing birthday, or 2, or at least 1 in a week, right? If you're very social. But if you also do that, we are living every day, and you will transport, you will call. So I said, you know what? I know you don't like this, and you don't want to do anything that is outside your. Okay, so let's do this cupcakes. Let's do cupcakes of 6. Let's find all those offices in Lekki, BI, that all those KPMG and Accenture young chaps feeling funky. They don't want to think, they want a cup of coffee and type, right? And then let's ensure that we have standard order from them. Every day, just come and drop 3 boxes. We have 5 of them, we are good. He was it's not going to do this. I said, don't worry, leave it. Piggyback 2014, I called him, we were talking. This my guy is a big boy. I'm like, oh, what's up? He said, he was going to deliver. I said, you're going to deliver what? He said, he's going to deliver cupcake that every day is going to say. I said, which cupcake now? It was like, man, that's practically the product that is sustaining them. I said, okay, now I need to come and even collect my consultancy fee because you did not pay me that time. Now, why I took you guys to that picture is for all your businesses. So you need to use it, right? It's okay for you to be waiting for your album to be released or your singles to come out. But if you wait now, you're now hungry, your neck will now be like hunger fish now. Like, I mean, but you don't can't be that now. So you need to find all those upcoming bar, club that you could just go, right? And then you could just tell them, I did here, and then they'll give you a transport or your feeding money for that day. And it doesn't make you less. Because what happens is it's also trains you, right? So you need to be able to ensure that within your design, there's something that's giving you daily or weekly income at the least, right? And then there's something that's giving you your breakthrough money. That breakthrough money is okay. Sign the record deal, transform your life. But or you want to do the easiest one, just do your content online, use to promote songs, they pay you for adverts. I mean, so have something that you're doing, right, within your expression that gives you daily. While you're thinking the big party, you need to be alive too. All right. Vision. How far do you see yourself going? And how far do you see this business going? Some people, when you ask them, okay, so what's the end goal? They don't even have. So why are you a UX person? They don't have. They're not planning to create their own Figma. They just want to be using Figma from now to tomorrow. But somebody created Figma because, no, so I'm always like, why do you think that you cannot create the engine? Why do you think you must just be a user? Have you thought of it? So imagine you are creating an engine for UI UX based on how you know Nigerians are. And based on the challenges you've had using it. That's the thing. You know, one time in this country, if we're having this type of training and it's a formal training, everybody will be here on suit. They wanted to kill us. Inside hot sun, they will tell us to tie up. I'm like, are you people normal? Does that make sense? But we could not blame them because the only decency you could wear is tie and shirt and suit. That was the only thing. These guys were sleeping that time. They're sleeping. That time was so sorry, but you will cry. But when they woke up now, like official wear in Nigeria now is native, like official. You are going for a very serious meeting, you wear your very sweet native and you are good. Instead of wearing suit, they are suspecting you. Who are you? No, for real. For real. But that only happened because these guys moved. So they were our problem. For years, these guys, they kept us in bondage. So you guys also be thinking that you may be causing problem for us somewhere, but you did not know. So that's why how important your work are. Because until you move, we now can't move as a people now. You now keep us in colonial bondage that we've been for how many years. So the real independence is when you guys get up, start doing the real work. Start changing the narratives to our narrative, start telling our stories, start creating our products that we are excited to use. Right? So that's the real thing, right? So you need to see it. You need to see everyone, like you see, you need to see that they are having a UN meeting and all the songs they will be rendering, one from South Africa, Gambia, Uganda, Ethiopia, like that's it. And that they are changing their official language. Swahili. Yeah? Or Yoruba, or I like Batin. Do you understand? You need to begin to see it. That's it. All right. Customer feedback. This part is dicey. In Nigeria, if you get customer feedback, you close your business and go home. Hey, customer, hey, king. But you know, also you can't downplay it, right? Because they are the users of your product. And if you don't learn to listen, you won't, you'll go down. That's just it. Because they are the ones that understand how they feel, right? But you also need to be very discerning to know the ones that just like to, because they feel they can just give feedback, and the ones that are actually genuinely giving you feedback on your product. So in Nigeria, it's not as direct as it used to be, where you just take customer feedback. Nigeria, customer feedback will ruin you. See, and there are customer feedback in Nigeria, and you will not sleep. The Nigerian customer feedback, you need to balance it between the emotional feedback and the logical feedback. So, a Nigerian knows that currently fuel scarcity is out of this world, right? And it's not even available, and the prices are, right? And then you tell the person, okay, the order will be delayed by 30 minutes, which is still reasonable based on what you're fighting the economy. Right? But when Is you people service is terrible. Please, is that your service? It's not now. Do you understand? So they are realities, and so sometimes their feedback is devoid of their own reality too. Madam, you don't have light, I don't have light. I don't even have fuel to buy. I can't even access fuel. They even say I want to use the gen that I should use. One of the thing no cool. He said, how you gonna do business? No cool. Where you they get license? Like, do you understand? No, so there's you working and trying your best. But then there's also your reality. That's why I'm saying that in Nigerian's customer feedback, you need to balance it. Don't go and kill yourself, because if you not die now, the profit from that thing is 20 naira. Oga, what's the essence? Eh? Can you imagine? So you need to balance it, right? In some other parts of the climate, yes, they're very sincere about the feedback and it's valid. So I'm of this school of thought, always balance your feedback. Some people even give you feedback to ruin your business deliberately because they are beefing you. We have that reality here, right? Some people give you feedback because that's like they actually have a bad experience from your product. You understand? So you need to also be able to gather all the feedback and then filter it and then version it. So if you watch most product development, they do versions, right? So they take a lot of feedback and then they prioritize and say, okay, which one can we do almost immediately? And then which one can we do later? And then you want to ask later.
So I wanted to ask, so what would be the factors to watch out for in trying to balance this emotional feedback or separating between the emotional and the logical type of feedback? Because for young business owners, plus the world of good, if we're be able to separate the meat from the chaff, how do we go about it? How do we know this person is being genuine as opposed to just trying to run it down? Because oftentimes the area is that people tend to lump. Someone is giving you what is genuine feedback, but you feel, oh, no, my product is too good for what you're saying to you, just not true. Or it could be that someone is just trying to give you, like you rightfully said, feedback, and then you are losing sleep over it. Meanwhile, it's not the reality. So how do we really walk that line?
Okay, so it's a very simple thing, sincerely. The first thing you need to do is just to know what your customer archetype or customer prototype is. That's all. Who is your customer? And this person that's giving you feedback, does it align with the kind of person you describe as a customer? If it is, then take it serious. If it's not, then keep it first. Come back to it later. Because the truth is, you are not sent to everyone. Now, so for instance, now, you see some people that will say that your product is expensive. And you said in the description or the narrative of your product that this is a luxury brand product. Then somebody says it's expensive. You're like, okay, that's mismatch feedback. Like, it doesn't make sense. If I tell you it's luxury and your name is expensive, okay, that means you are validating that it's worked. Like, that is what I say it is. Well, you're like, this is expensive. If I go to Banex, okay, go now. Banex is your people. Why are you stressing me? Eh? It's a very simple conversation. But now, because they say it's expensive, you don't drop your price. You're done for. Because your people now not buy it. Because those people don't like that they are using something that everybody can. Do you understand? So you need to first, once you've really defined who your customer is, forget the rest. Once the person gives you feedback, you just put the person close to your prototype. Does it fit? Yes. Validate. No, keep aside first. Now, I'm not saying discard. I say keep aside. Come back to it later. Because you now find out that down the line, one of your own customer prototype will now say the same thing. You're not like, oh, Mark, okay, so let me listen more. You understand? So once you define who your customer is, it's easy for you to filter feedbacks and decide what you need to do. How many of you have worked in a place that you can never use people's products? Eh? Like, no, whether I follow you don't subscribe to it. No, you've not even, okay, maybe use that you've not promoted the product out of the fact that you enjoy it too. Not the one that they say if you don't push it on, like you will not get salary. You know, there's also that one. Okay, how many of you have worked in a place where you always just post about the company because you love the company? One person. So that means the rest of us, we know they're proud of the businesses of the companies we don't work with. That's it. Because they've not done what? They've not instilled their confidence in you. Because the thing is, if you believe, if you get your team to understand your why, right, and they plug into it, you won't have to tell them to talk to your people about the business. They will, naturally. How many of you have eaten in a restaurant and you told someone else? Okay. All right. Why? Did those people pay you for advertisement? Why did you do that? So imagine how you can generate that same feeling and reaction from your own team. So your goal should be that everyone that is under your payroll or that is working for you or is encountering you, right, have that natural tendency to always talk about. And the only way that will happen is if they believe in you and the product. Sir? Or when they don't believe, okay, there's also the negative gospel. Do you understand? Where they say those people are nonsense. Like, yeah, not good thing. Because Nigerians have listened. So the Nigerian business is so funny. People are so used to negativity that even when you don't tell somebody, they say, this guy kid life, if you say that's good, I will go myself. Because I don't know trust you. Then some people will now hype one restaurant. You will go there, you'll be angry. Like these people very annoying. So now what did they hype it? So you also need to ensure that the confidence people have in you is constant. You need that a lot. There's consistency in the expression and the feeling. Once you can get that, so that when people give feedback, when someone else comes, they get the same feeling, right? So you don't put Joy in front that is very smiley on Monday, and then you put Adako on Tuesday. Adako that is always fighting everybody. And then they've met Joy, and then Joy has given them joy. Then you now send them, it's Adako, then what do you want? We don't have. Like, what do you have? We don't have. It's not like, what? Madam, do you know me before? No. Okay. Now we do mistake, now we correct. So do you understand? And you know the funny thing. So I meet Adako, you find out that okay, that money, her boyfriend broke up with her, and she had invested over like 5 years in relationship without any money. So you can't even blame Adako, but you need to be able to know that you can't put Adako in front that day. Do you understand? So your team confidence is very important, right? Next slide. Don't worry, we just want to finding the right people. Okay, let's watch this.
Well, for that analysis, if you're thinking of applying to position for another city,
not be content with knowing what you know.
Whoa, which country? How does it say in the contract? All right. Okay. All right. So any take home? Any take home? I talk now. Yeah, I've talked. Finish now. Is it our terminal? All right. Okay. Oh.
Sometimes you actually go out and you actually do want to help, but you are not sharing, you don't have to know how, and then you just feel like the person. Sometimes people call me to like enter the journey for projects and all, and I know that that's fine. I really do know, but I allow myself and they always have to draft so I just dance on the intention. The capacity is also and I'm a deeply good person, but I don't make share. I just
Awesome. So what do we do for such people?
Sometimes the risk is not enough. So it's that like I did a project February next year and I so demanded not and even if I struggle to bring about just about recording and boundaries, I got my mind to it. So it was heavy for me, but it was too much. So I think sometimes if you're not just leave them. There's somewhere that they need to have while you're building capacity. While you're building capacity, they need to have skill help with something or someone else. Just find where you are essential and be there instead of grabbing for that program.
Awesome. All right.
That's the actually sorry, things in the sense that what you don't want to be part of, you are being forced, you end up being the SP, the one dragging it back. So if there are a lot of people that, especially maybe let me use maybe people that don't want to go to school and want to do and work. And you as a parent, you are telling them this is what I want, this is what I want. And you end up at the end of it in this 100 level, you are hearing you have explained it. And when you come back, you tell you, I've told you this is not what I want to do. So sometimes I see you can actually be all the one I saw. You can actually be all and you want to do. So the best thing is knowing what you want and actually letting go of the one you don't want to actually take the organization or yourself to the next level.
Yes, basically.
Do we have anyone online that wants to speak? Can I have like two of them? Okay.
About cooperation in the team. Yes, majorly looking at the second team and ask them and eventually will make a success of their goal. You need to know who is fitting for your team, basically. The other thing, they were able to succeed because they were going somewhere. I noticed their match. They were going at the same pace. They were taking their legs just about the same pace. So everybody understood the goal, and then they were after it. Yes, so if people also need to have lags, there's a problem somewhere.
My contribution is, I think, it's a mixture of all of them. So she was coming from the perspective of what you have might not be enough to push it. But I've been in situations where, like an investor or somebody is coming and saying, oh, I'm bringing this, I'm giving you this opportunity, but it's not in the direction of the team or the person who wants to be with the team. So he or she on her own, she's thinking, oh, I have all these resources, take advantage of it. But she's in the SP because she's dragging them in a different direction. So we need to, as team leaders or as people who have the goal, we need to identify who is with the vision. And then people who are not with the vision, no matter how advantageous they might be, they have to let go.
No, she.
So on my own part, like I've worked on the team before. And on this service, I try to observe everybody else. If I notice you're not giving me the full information, or you're not giving me the value, I want to push you along. And instead to say that discuss and plan everything, we put a plan in practice. If you wish to join the job, if you don't wish to join, but I put you in the place, and after the work is done, I still come and learn it, but I don't force people to work on my team.
No, thank you. Is there anyone online?
Sorry,
Okay. Yeah.
okay. In a situation whereby you know where you go, and then you feel because I have done my part, I don't need to do any other. Like there are people that generate ideas, and there are people that want to see this idea come true. And they're like, I've generated the idea, I should have to do this. So where do you place them now? Are they team workers?
All right. Interesting. So, you want to answer a question? All right. So, thanks for the contribution. That was amazing. So, I think I'll start with a question. So, if they are idealists and they are executors, where do you place them? Most idealists, where do they rank in organizations? That's just it. So if you are engaged as an executor and you decide to be an idealist, you do that at your own peril. Because there's people paid to do that work. And so alignment of purpose matters a lot. And you might have the best intention. So I was having a conversation with some of my staff and I tell them, I said, so part of the frictions that we have is this. The work I pay you to do, you don't do. My work you want to do. Fire me now. No, that's the truth. But see, there's two sides of my work. There's a side of my work that I need to tell you what to do. There's the other side of my work that I need to ensure that when you do what I tell you to do, I can resource you. But see what you want to do. You want to take the part of my work that when I tell you telling you what to do, right? You want to be telling yourself what to do. But you don't want to take the second part of my work, which means I must resource it. I said, so you are being evil now. Because you are taking the juice. But there is shaft now. You need to now also ensure you. So if now you will tell me that when you roll the idea by yourself, you will pay us. What idea have? I will sit down. So that's it now. And then I will do the work now. So just be giving us the idea and be giving us the money. And then I will do the work. But you want to give us the idea. But you don't want to be responsible for if we now make the money. Because you know when I'm giving you the idea, I'm also playing at the bet of 50-50. That when we roll it like this, we should be able to get this money, and this money should be able to pay ourselves. I mean, and I'm putting my integrity on the risk that okay, what's this scenario? Even if you run this idea, if it doesn't give you from my own backlog, I will push. I mean, but you don't want to follow my idea because you don't believe in it. And I say, okay. But you want me to pay for your own idea. How now? So I will now need to call you and sit down and say, please, let's align. Do your own part. Don't worry about the idea. Just take and run. If you now don't believe in the idea, you don't want to work, okay, then shift now. So that you also now don't corrupt the people that can help us. You see? So alignment of purpose matters a lot. And that's why you watched. At a point in time, the leader was going and he doesn't mind that some people are creating their own idea, their own gist, their own gossip. That he was just working. Well, at the point that when he saw that the world is going and he's still where he is, he had to say, see, Ace, you, come down, you, get out. Like, don't frustrate my life. And that's, so the thing is, your team formation can make or mar you. A lot of reasons why we don't grow, we don't even have organizations that outlive the owner. It's because of our mindset in this country. Every employee is out to steal from you. That's what you think, no? No, that's what you think. Should I tell you one of the most amazing things I've noticed? And so that's also the mindset. They feel every employer is out to extort you. No, so let me, okay. Oh, God bless you. That's the word. So let me tell you some of the conversations. So when I go to organizations and they're having issues with their staff, the first thing I ask them, and the first question I ask them is, how many of you prayed before you got this job? Yes. No, prayed before they got the job. Like they prayed for a job. How many of them prayed to get this job before they got this job? How many of them talked to their God and believed their God for a job? And a lot of, in short, most times, all of them. I'm like, okay, so what happened now? This is an answer to a prayer. How has it become a problem? And then I asked the second question, how many of you did they not tell how much they will pay you for the work before they gave you the job? None. I'm like, okay, so did you agree with the volume of job for the money? Say yes. I said, okay, so in what place has this man now been evil now? And then I asked the third question, how many of you, sincerely from your hearts, have done 100% productivity in your workplace every day? Then nobody. Any other person that says it's a lie. Because the next thing I now ask them, how many of you spend more than 1 hour on social media and during work hours? 2 hours, 3, 4. But it's the man that's evil. Wait now. I'm giving you, so I'm just taking you. And you know, we don't even need to answer this question. All of us know. Abi? All right. And I tell you that, wait now. Wait. Do you understand? So I now, and so you now get to organizations where they now tell you, don't bring your phone off social media. Because people make commitments that they are, and you funny enough, when they engage in the workplace, you're not engaged as a student. You're engaged as a professional that you can manage yourself. So you guess what most organizations do? They now have to now start babysitting adults. Plus the fact that they are paying them. And that's a lot of time wasting. And then they still see that employer as the wicked person. And I'm like, so switch place. And one thing happened, and this is the conversation, because I've had a lot of time with people. I had an interview, and this is how I do my interview. I just put everybody in the room. All of you are applying for the same thing. And then I bring one of the problems we have in the organization. I say, please solve it. And then they solve. So there was one, I wanted to determine how much I should pay them. And I said, okay, guys, we're running a business. This is it. How much would you pay? How much should we pay you? And everybody started, and I wrote it down, Some people were starting from like 180 to 800,000. Entry level, I'm like, oh, that's fine. All right. So we finished. And then I said, okay, all right, so we're going to pay the salary range between 180 to 800. And then I cleaned it. I said, all right. Okay, guys, this is the business that we are doing. How do we make money? And they said, I said, how much do you envisage that we should make within the first month? Remember that you're responsible for the one to make the sales. And then I was hearing maybe 200K. Nobody entered 500. I was like, what's happening here? Okay, and then I wrote it by the side. And like, okay, so as CEO, you are the CEO now. You want to now employ staff. How much would you pay your staff? The highest. And the highest was the guy that said 80,000 that he wants to collect. The highest. No, the guy that said he wants to collect 80,000. No, not 8%. The person that wants to pay the highest money was that same guy. and he said 50,000. The person that wanted to collect 800K, the salary that she wants to pay was 35,000. So they didn't even know where I was going because I was just different. Then I brought it, I now pasted it, and I started tagging them. And then you see, that's the problem we have in this country. You yourself, you are a cheat to yourself. Because if you're being fair, you would analyze from both parts, Abby, and then come to a middle ground. That's the truth. But when you sit from where you are and you dictate how every other person should act, you are just being a very wonderful, amazing human being that has no consideration for others. Because there are realities of the market. There are businesses that, whether you like it or not, you can't make more than 1 million a day. Like, that's if the petrol situation will not wound you or you don't run this without. Like, so how many people have gone to meet their employers these past 2 weeks and say, sir, please reduce our money because we know that you have been running this every day. But should I tell you what? If they don't run this, they say, sir, we can't walk. Oh, there's no light. Sir, we can't walk. Oh. So the man must say, but you know, for everybody to go and meet the man and say, sir, to come to office is very expensive. And wait, as it affected you, think it's not affecting. So if you want to increase, so you should come and tell you that, hey, come, that money right now, I pay you. I know if you pay you. Because that's how we think. So we think that it's okay for us because the fuel has gone up to go and renegotiate the pay. But we don't think that because also the fuel has gone up, he needs to come and renegotiate the pay. So when you go to renegotiate the pay to go high, and they say, oh, we need to go down because of that same reason. You see, these people are evil. They are just exploiting us. They're just, you see how it is. So sometimes you need to just have people that are your people. And this is how you know the people that are your people. And you also need to be a good person. And so there's balance in this thing. There's the balance where, as an organization, you need to be fair, right? And there's a balance where, as an employee, you also need to be fair and true to yourself, right? And this is where we meet ourselves. When there's an economic reason for shifts, let's make that just sense, right? So for instance, if someone has been very productive for a 6-month period, right? Then review the person and bump the person up. You understand? Fair. You will get more people like that. If we are in a trying time, like now, we should all come back and say, guys, we need to calm down. So let's do 30% down first. Once we got to the other, if you always keep to your words, people will trust you. If you say that your organization's policy is that every 6 months we review pay, and every 6 months we review pay, when you come and meet them and tell them that, oh, we are going through this tough time, we are thinking it just lasts for 2 months, we need to turn down. The right people will not mind. But that's the day you know the wrong people. Because you don't remove 500 from that money. World War II is learning and the type of issues that you get. So once they are the right people, they would tell you. And then once after that period, bump it back up. I even give them an allowance that, oh, thanks for saying to us. Once you have employers that think like this and employees that you will be fine. And that's really what we need. But you also need to first start with you having faith in the employers. Until they become who they say they are not, don't first think that they are evil. And also use of yourself, do some analysis. Change, before you think how it affects you, first, imagine their own reality.
So, online, you have someone who is suffering from Tanzania.
Okay.
And the question I have is this. This works well if you have it. What happens if you are a sole entrepreneur for now? How do you set up a reward mechanism for yourself as well as train yourself, to be disciplined in terms of not just taking everything and on. So, we're looking at it for someone who's just starting, who's wearing many hats in their particular sport.
Okay. So I think this is very, very key, especially when you're setting up an organization and you're starting. Always have your payroll. Now, your payroll works like this. It's either you pay because you have or you owe yourself. So most times, because the business has not generated enough money to pay you, doesn't mean you should not have your salary. Have your salary that the company pays you for the work that you do. Now, it can be deferred payment. It can be that you are putting in the work to collect the money later when the company can pay you, but you must always be on salary. And you know, all the money you input into that organization is investment, and always account for your own investment in the company, right? If you use your own personal money to buy paper for them, write it there. Borrow you people 500 naira to buy paper for you guys, because it's not your money, it's my money, right? And so it's just bookkeeping, basic bookkeeping. You will be good, but always have your salary so that when the money starts coming, you will not say because you've invested 500,000, you now start having 5 million. You owe 5 million. It's your money anyway because you're 5. No, it's not your money. It's the company's money. You can at that point in time withdraw the money, as in pay yourself back the money you owed. You understand? You borrowed them, maybe plus interest and your salary, but that's the max that you should do. So basic bookkeeping, and then having. Let's go. We need to move fast. What's the time? 1 minute more. Huh? We started late. Hey.
Thanks for
Okay. So I wanted us to watch this video, but I think we'll share the slide, right?
Yes, we will.
Okay, so let's just skip so that we can run fast. So the next slide is building your business, right? There are practically 9 steps that I'll just run through. The first thing is be organized. And the easiest way to be organized is carry file and paper and write. That's all. Today, what am I doing concerning this business? 1, 2, 3. Sometimes, okay, so there's this book I read. I've forgotten the author, but I think it's one thing. That's me, one thing. So the guy says that, yes, one thing. So the guy's principle is just ensure there's one thing you are doing today towards your purpose. One thing. Don't forget the noise. Today, do so concerning that business, do one thing. Right? This week, have one thing, one major thing you want to start that end. This month, have one, just one. So concerning that your pathway, ensure you have one thing you're doing daily towards it. Ensure there's one thing you are achieving. So achieve one thing for the week is that you are starting and finishing. For the day, that's what I said. I said I forgot it. It's been long already. Thanks. It's one red.
Yes, just one.
Just one thing. Yeah. So you understand? So he's saying that just one thing, right? Today, just do one thing concerning that your work. One thing. So it might be that you read, it might be that you research, it might be that you even listen to talk on it. Just one thing. Like you guys now, today, this is your one thing, right? Towards growing your business and making it more global. Just one thing is okay. A day, one thing a day. Achieve one thing a week. So achievement means that you've started and you've finished. So it might be that you want to learn how to cut a particular pattern, or you want to learn how to make a particular icon. Start and finish it that week. You understand? Then ensure there's a project that you're finishing in a month. That's a series of small things that convert to one wholesome. So you've gotten the pattern, then so the full dress. So just one thing, and then it will help you build, right? So be organized. Keep detailed records. You know, when I was discussing about how you pay yourself, right? Keep both your financial, your idea, right? And your plan record. Always jot them down, right? It will always help you in your business. Okay, so the third part, I'm not a fan of competition. I don't believe there's competition. Believe in me. But generally, they tell, I don't believe. So should I say, my own personal philosophy is that the sky is big enough for the birds to fly and everyone will get to their destination. That's my personal philosophy. The world's business philosophy says, I believe in collaboration. That's my strong suit. I believe I don't need to compete with you. I can collaborate with you and we can go far, right? That's what I believe.
like just have a case study for people doing it. So study what you're doing, what you don't make it. I think that's what
I agree. But, no. So see, that's why I told you. So that's why I told you that personally, I don't sit well with competition, right? I see everyone that is doing my business line as co-creators, co-solvers of a particular problem. I don't see them as we are fighting for the same thing. So that's my philosophy. I don't see, so if I sow and you sow, I don't see you as a competition. The thing is, I want to create African brands global. So I see you as a collaborator. So I'm saying I want to go into London, and like, how far more go now? Do you understand? Because we want to take over that market. I don't see you as my competition. I see you as my co-collaborators. Like, you're the ones changing the world. That's my own philosophy. That's not the world's philosophy, but that's not the business philosophy. It's seen as a competition. You get where I'm coming from, right? So analyze your competition, and that's why you need to analyze the competition. Is you need to know what new technology, what new research is going, so that you don't go extinct. Just like Nokia, maybe it was Nokia was following my philosophy. They didn't believe in competition, but now. Yeah. But you understand what I'm saying. But this market, this particular, have you forgotten one time? If all of us, when Nokia was in vogue, all of us, everybody has a Nokia phone. Confirm, true or false? Please, anybody that has a Nokia phone, let me see. You have a Nokia phone. do you understand now? So why you need to analyze the competition is just for you to know what is happening in the industry. Because if you get so boxed up, the technology might have even evolved beyond where you are, and you won't even know. Do you understand? But when you have your collaborators also, they will also tell you what's happening too. That's why I said what competition is on me. But that's it. Understand risks and reward. You know how I said that most times we want to understand that the fuel has gone up and the transport office has increased, but we don't understand how we affect the other person. So in every business, there are risks that you need to take and there are rewards that come with it, right? If you invest in materials, very expensive materials, the good deal about it is if you meet the guys that understand it, you've made your money. But for every mistake, you go and meet the other guys, they are in true trouble because they will price you down your cost price. True or false? Okay. So you must understand risks that you need to take and the rewards that come with it, right? And better analyze it to grow your business. The fifth slide, which is very important, is the consistency. Like this one is a standalone. If your product is like this, please, at every point in time when we come back, let us always be able to get that expression that this is it. This is you. Always have a signature to your brand. So that we know that when we see it like this guy. When we see it like this, when we see it like this, okay, when we see it like this. You understand? Next slide. I'm trying not to rush. The sixth point is be creative. Well, we are all creative, so that should not be a problem. But then I've told you how to benchmark your creativity. Ensure it's actually solving problems and impacting lives, right?
Why is that the best one?
Because that's who you are.
Okay, so if that's who you are, then why is it the best way?
That's what I'm saying. So that's who you are. It's the creativity I want from you here. It's the solution part. Do you understand? So I've told you about being consistent, which is more important to me, right? But in that consistency, bring a little bit of life and solution to it. Do you understand? So there's me finding your true nature. How should I say it? I'm trying to see what I can use to express. You know this Ghana material painted, right? It's consistent, But have you seen things that they've done with it? So, but once you just see it, you know that, oh, this material is from Ghana, right? But when you now express it, that's the part of the creativity. You're now using it to adapt into different situations. This is the creativity, not the innate, what you can see, what you can create. Okay. So it's this different materials, and then they brought out their own creativity, right? So that's what I'm saying. Let it come out. Express it to solve the solution. The first creativity inside of you is this side. It's into your world. It's this part of creativity is express it to connect to her, connect to me, to connect to him. You understand? But before you do this one, that's your own. Form it. Let it have a form, a consistent form. That when we now begin to see it in different ways, we can connect with it. Right? Then stay focused. This is the part that a lot of us need to work on. There's a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of, this is the new thing. And you know how we like to jump into the new things a lot, right? No, it won't give you results. You need to stay focused. If this is the pathway you want to try to go there, it will meet you. This wave, it will pass and it's come and meet you because you're focused. That's the truth. But if you go with the wave, the truth is a lot of people get lost. But the people that stays, the wave will go, come, go, come, go, come, go, come, go, come, go, come. That's it. Prepare to make sacrifices. That sometimes you have to work all night. That sometimes you have to work weekends. That sometimes you have to travel with your food money and trek back. You need to make sacrifices. That sometimes your family savings has to go. You have to make sacrifices. Sometimes it's only one shirt and trousers you wear for a long time. You have to make sacrifices. That's the real deal. Sometimes you will not even know yourself. You have to make sacrifices, right? And then the last one is provide great service. So you can't downplay this part because it's how your service is that will determine if it will explode. If you do good service, a lot of people will come around. If you do shitty service, for a while you might make money, but after a while, you understand? Next slide. I think this branding and marketing. Okay. Should we watch this video? Let me just talk through it. Or should we just go through that slide? Empty. So we have like 10 minutes more because of our lateness. All right. Okay. Let's just run a bit. Okay, let's go. You know, I think most of this I've even covered it. Earlier today, he was asking that how do you know which people's feedback you should listen to or not, right? And I explained to you guys that the first thing you even need to do is have a customer archetype or prototype, right? That you want to engage. So the first thing you want to do before you start all your branding activities, identify who your audience is. Who do you want to talk to, right? Do you want to talk to my father? Do you want to talk to me? Do you want to talk to my children, right? Who do you want to talk to? You want to talk to women, you want to talk to girls, you want to talk to boys, you want to you need to know those people, right? How many of you use Facebook? Are very active on Facebook? One. How many of you are very active on Twitter? How many of you are very active on Instagram? Okay. So imagine you. How many of you are very active on TikTok? Okay. Which other one? How many of you are very active on WhatsApp? Why are you laughing? No, those guys make more money than all the others combined. Yeah.
So are you saying as referring to that there's no point?
If your network is large, you have a large network, WhatsApp. But I think Telegram is taking over WhatsApp.
That place looks like a noisy place. They're shouting. It's organized.
But I'm accommodating small crowd.
Yeah, that's it. It's Allah. Me and you, we are in the same school of thought. On this matter, another matter we feel agree, but this one, Telegram, Jesus. It's only when I want to do this mass recruitment that I go there. Where is this HR? Oh, wait, I don't run.
What's your Clubhouse?
Clubhouse, those people can talk forever. So all right. So you see, you have a lot of places, but you guys have nobody mentioned LinkedIn. Why is that? Wow. Awesome. From LinkedIn. Please tell her what to do. Tell her what to do. What do you do? What do you do?
So WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram is for. Let me put it this way. You mentioned something about wearing the native and wearing. LinkedIn is the other ones are native. If you don't understand that, I'll break it down this way. So the way we update, put pictures, say, oh, I'm here, I'm there. LinkedIn is just using there's something that's called professional lingo to say the same thing and put it on a different platform. Because there you can find more people who relate with that professional lingo, and then they'll be able to. And these are people who are actively looking to employ or to collaborate. And social media, well, LinkedIn is not always measured as social media. Social media, the other ones, they are just. Okay. I can give another analogy. So that other one is the way you said. Africa has 50% of the content, but 1% of the group. That 1% is the group. Yeah, so that's that.
So you said that a freelancer.
Okay, yeah. So what I did was I basically just updated. Oh, I've done this. I worked with this person. I worked with this organization, and I made sure to tag them. So, and then if you work with someone. And they'll validate it. And once one person validates, it's easier for the person in that person's peer group to see you. And then you're open to more jobs and collaborations. And it kind of trickles down to the real world because these people you collaborate with or you work for, they're real people as well. So you can end up having a call from other people. And then they say, oh, this person said did this. That's how.
All right. Okay, so I think we've spent all the channels for branding, right? Okay, channel management. We've already done 6. So let's just move. Value proposition. What are you giving? What are you offering? And why should we come to you? What's that one unique thing about you? It needs to be clear. It needs to be crystal clear, right? Yeah, sure.
All these things are the things that you can get on the way, you can define on the way, or you need to have them defined before you venture into something.
Should I tell you the funny thing about branding? You will always keep redefining them. How many logos of Apple do you know? 2. That's yeah, oh, you understand? So the thing is, at every point in time, and you know, when I came in and I introduced myself, I said one thing that is very important to me is that I'm better than I was yesterday, and that tomorrow I'm better than I am today. That's all that matters. That's also the same thing about a brand. So if you meet people that work with me 2014, 2016, they call me politician, right? If you meet people that work with me between 2017, 2019, they tell you this guy is a military man, like brutal. If you meet people that work with me now, they're like, hey, I'm like, yeah, okay. Do you understand? So in every, so my brand changes depending on the work that I have to do. And that's how it is for you also. So as your brand evolves, it begins to create a community. Most times you need to brand. Someone's asking a question.
Yes, I wanted to ask. So in the cohort understanding, as you go through the exercise online, there's a part of the module that deals with branding. And one of the modules says that if your brand is not a logo or color, right? And quite a number of people said they didn't understand, they were having their statement and all. And we had to make them understand that your brand goes much deeper than just a logo or a color. It's just a statement of the uniqueness of your business. So maybe you want to share the history of brand on that, because people seem to think that once you have a logo or you have people that follow that is you as your brand. That's all the relations.
No, that's not even your brand. Let me give you a best description of what your brand is. If you say, should we do this? Okay, so let me just give you a. What's this color? What's this color? This color? Yellow. What comes to your mind? Custard.
MTN rice.
MTN. No, so it's funny that the moment you saw the color, what went to your mindset was MTN. But if I remove telecom, what will go to your mind? Okada books. Okay. If I point to his red shirt, what comes to your mind? Yeah, I remember. So, but is that their brand?
That's MTN.
Whether MTN or Airtel, is that their brand?
Someone answered you online, said
Nacho. That Nacho guy is correct guy. Because the yellow and black, you don't mix it together and give it. All right, but is that their brand? So your brand is how people feel about you. So you hear people say things like, that's a good brand. Why do you think people like Apple? Eh? Why do you think people like Apple? Even the people that don't like Apple like Apple. Like, but it's Apple luxury. Because if do you understand? Because if you really check it, Samsung are big guys. Samsung is luxury. Logo Ziri. It's Samsung. But you know what? Samsung is not playing as if it's luxury. Samsung is playing as if I'm just here. I'm just me. But the guy is cutting your head. But Apple, it's because so the thing about Apple is that they care. And because they care, there is detail in terms of how their product is being created for the user. And that's why when I have a Mac, an iPhone, iPad, like everything syncs now. You can just start from here, enter here, continue there, and move here. Because they understand that your system, your iMac will be upstairs, your phone is down. And then you're having a conversation and you quickly want to just check up with your wife and collect the iPad because you want to show it. Like, no, why when I'm in the same house, now not carry the laptop, carry no nah. Because I just be going with your iWatch, you are just okay, Alpha, just give me a minute, let me get to my system. No, I can't do this, it's in a document. Okay, you know what? Move it. Because they are thinking and they care for you and they want you to be able to increase your productivity. You understand? And it shows even in their packaging. Have you unboxed before? Try and unbox one of these days. Like that's the sweetest. No. Try and unbox. Anyone, either the laptop or the phone. Try and be the one to tear the nylon. That's like an iPhone product, an Apple product. Try and be the one to tear the nylon. Okay, you'll be feeling cool. You see, like they can't tell you how you will feel until you feel it. If I'm telling you, it's like food. If you like food will just come out from you. Will just eat it. You're belly free. Like no, for real. Hey, no, it's better you think that one. It's better. It's after you have gotten that feeling. Do you understand? Let's watch that video. That video, I think it will help them. That because once we watch that video, I'll just round up on this. That video is, yeah. Oh yeah, guys, let's watch this one. Give me more sound because the sound that I want. Light up, Abby. Wait, now pause. Now let's wait. Wait, go back. Where's the other one? Okay. Oh yeah. No, don't worry. And let's see. They are seeing the video now. They don't need the light. Welcome back. Let me ask you this question. Did you actually post at the point in time? Like you were just, did it happen to you? So that's brand, like that's it. So you know what will happen, eh? See what they've done to you. Every time you see this car, you'll be like, oh. No, for real, like, if you see this car, really like, you will misbehave first. Even in your forming, you know, you now go like, oh, see car now. See car now. Like it's funny, but the thing is, that's why you need to understand your brand. Now, so these guys and Volvo, they are the people that have been able to express their brand fullest. Go and watch any video, any adverts. No, leave those people now. Those people are leave those people. But I'm saying no. The advert is nice, but so what I'm saying is so there is a feeling of your brand. There's a feeling. Mercedes brand feeling is prestige. Like we're on a class of our own. No, we are on a class of our own. Like it's just we and then other people. Do you get? So that's Mercedes for you. Like so you really if you use it because there's already pride anyway. So you won't get it. Unlike Volvo. Volvo's pretty safety. When you watch all their adverts, when you see their car, you feel safe. Even if you see their old car, you know that Volvo that we used to use to drive motor car. If that car hits you or hit any of the car on the road, the car is done for because their own value system is safety. So they're just very concerned about safety. And what they want you to feel is that when you're in a Volvo car, you are safe. And the truth is, you're inside that car, you are safe. Even if Mercedes try you, it's 50-50. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's what you want to communicate to your brand. So now it goes back. So what do I want my audience to feel? Then you now go back and then do the brand materials. That's why they now begin to tell you why they're using color red, why they're doing 2 lines. But no, that's not the beginning. The beginning is what emotional connection do I want my audience to have with me? Once that is determined, then you go back. Well, most times what we just do is, I like color red, let me just use that my brand. Then when you now want to do your brand messaging, there's no message. Because the emotion you want to stress there did not generate how your brand collaterals were created. So you need to be very deliberate about what kind of people do we want to talk to, what's the feeling, how do we want to connect to these people, and what do we want to say? You understand? And then how is this thing best expressed? Is it simplicity? Is it fun? Right? So that's the real thing you want to do. Right? So that's me just capping our conversation on brand. But sincerely, you guys should go and watch that advert on Google. Any of the other, everything speaks to that safety. Either the one that talks about the story, or the one that talks about the child missing the road and then almost got hit by a car. Like everything, it's safety. So when you see some of these clips, what it does is it blows your mind. And so you will be very deliberate about how you are creating the brand. So you will now allow somebody else to handle your communication until you are sure that the person understands why your brand exists and the feeling you want people to connect to you. Do you understand? 3 M's of marketing and then I'll round up. Yeah, shoot. Brand personality. Okay, so speaking on your brand personality, there's this word that I'm trying to. If I remember the word, I'll tell you. So about your brand personality, your brand should have a life of its own. It should be a person. You know the way we say your company should be a person, and then you should be another person, and then you should interact with your company. That's the same. That's how your brand should be. Your brand persona, right? It's for the company, not for you. Even if you're an artist. So there's the There's the you as the artist, the brand, the artist, right? When you step on stage. When you come down, there should be you, the human being. The person that has done this for me that I really love is, sorry, I'm using a foreigner, is Nicki Minaj. Have you met Nicki Minaj during documentaries?
Met.
Like I've seen that video. Do you understand? Okay, so have you seen any of our documentary clips, right? You know what you would notice, right? She's a different person from the Nicki Minaj you know when she's on stage. She's to me, based on my research, she's been the one that's been able to clearly separate those two personalities. If you see her on stage, she's almost practically, but if you see her in that full, like, if you even see her hand self, maybe it's a mistake. Like she's fully dressed, fully clothed, and she's very down to earth. Like do you understand? So that's someone that understands that, oh, I as an artist, I have a different personality, like a brand, do you understand? From myself, the human being. It helps you to also create balance because the expectation for you as an artist is, it's a lot. But if you don't separate those, it will affect a lot of things. Then, yeah.
Where would you put someone in terms of branding that, like Airly or Chapter? You think their brand has kind of overshadowed them, or just in the between?
You wanted to say something?
I use those two like an example, but they don't have that one to brand. It's now more like driving personal objectives and trying to get people to achieve their ideology. And then as time went by, I realized that, oh, I can make what I have in brand. It's people that are branding them. I can't actually
And he said that was deliberately what he set up. He tried to create a persona that made him look like he was one. And a lot of people bought into that persona. And that for him was creating his brand. That's why I'm asking. Sit down that he's overshadowed or the brand has taken him over, or he sold his brand so well that
You wanted to say something?
I feel like the brand doesn't necessarily have to separate for some musicians, like my two great musicians, Kendrick and their brands are themselves. Like if you watch the whole documentary, you see him in crops and shorts riding a bicycle, and you see him on stage, he's dancing person, still with shorts and crops. It's crazy, like you're supposed to be a rapper with chains, and in the beginning, he started out that way because that's the prototype. But after some time, he came back to being himself. He talks about how he's riding bicycles, and on the documentary, he's saying that he's a simple person, and it helps your sanity kind of because sometimes when you have to keep switching, you become bipolar.
Okay.
Another issue when you have to realize that the brand is not you. You have to understand that your brand is not you.
Yeah, I'm officially closing the class so that we can have this.
Okay. Your brand is you. So if you become something with brand, it means something that you're trying, like means you do something that is beyond yourself. The brand because it affects other people, people that will be employed, people that will manage it. So it's beyond you.
Why can't your brand affect you?
No. Wait. Okay.
How is brand personality different from brand identity?
What you said? Like so that's not an issue now. So your person, okay. So your identity. What are you identified by? Those are the things that people can connect with. Your colors, your images, your logo, right? That's your brand identity. Your brand personality is how you make people feel. That's connection. So that's why I was telling you that. So from your brand personality is how you talk, right? So if you don't even put your logo, you can say particular, like, so if I tell you things like everywhere you go, what comes to your mind? Yeah, no, because that's their personality. They are the ones that used to say that everywhere, everywhere. Do you understand? But I might not even put yellow or anything. But once you see that conversation, you're like, oh, this is MTN. It's later when I now put yellow, like, I tell you, right? So also the same thing. If what other example can I give? So your personality is who you are and what people say about you. Do you understand? Like that's how people interpret all the expressions, right, that you've created. How people interpret it, that's how they now say, oh, this person is funny, this person is jovial, this company, they are very serious, this company. That's how people get to interpret who you are. But let me now go back to this, your brand personality conversation. Now, so if you listen to what he said, which is very important, he said he created a brand, and then he ran the brand to bring out himself, and now he's himself, and he has dropped the brand. Because the brand that he created, the brand persona that he created was for him to be able to go into the market, for him to be accepted, because he needed that. But he has been accepted. Now, no. Yeah, his brand has been accepted, right? That brand can now be bet to his person, which he can now stand by himself. So if you check now, if I tell you that, okay, well, funny enough, if I come here and I tell you that I work for British Council, what happens to you immediately? You reprofile me immediately. Immediately, that's what happens to you. But do you know I can now ride on that brand and become Seun Ogulano of British Council and then move to become Seun Ogulano? Yeah. So what happens a lot of time that we don't understand is, so there's a brand persona, like there's a brand personality itself. That brand personality can create a lot of brands. So what you want to do as an artist, for you to have sanity, now a lot of people have fused and made that same brand again, right? Just like my bros. Do you understand? They've made that brand themselves, right? Let me ask you a question. Fela Anikulapo Kuti, is he a brand or he's the brand? He's the brand. Is he a brand or the brand? The brand. What's the difference? No, now you guys have answered. So that's what I'm asking. What's the difference?
This is how I see it.
Okay.
I feel like a brand would be a persona that's not you. And then you being the brand is you personally. Like the brand is now with you. You're not acting. It's not something that you switch up and on. It's who you are right now.
Okay.
There's no two fella at the
Yeah, there's no, yes. Like when the cameras are on, you're not going to see someone else. That's
you know, his kids don't adulterate stuff like when it's Fella's fault, it's Fella's fault. It's the brand.
So how many brands of Fela do we have? No, you can't now. If it's the brand, then we can have varieties of it.
So I feel like if it was a brand, there's not, right?
Yeah.
No.
No, English. Yeah, I know that's not a brand. Like, see.
That was, see. But why are you now saying that you don't have a lot of it?
No. A brand.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm not asking you how many of that brand do we have?
Well, he has never had
But when I was arguing to you, that's his brand.
Is it?
There's model of
You know what? When you just made that statement, I just feel my work here is done. That you can go back to the Okay, wait, guys. So we have finished. So that's why, wait, guys, we've closed this class. So the class is over. This one is just we having chat, right? Online guys, thank you so much for being a being a part of this session. I hope it was as exciting to you as it was to us. It was exciting being here. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciated my time here.
Okay.
So
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, hi.
So how would we have the link to the recorded class for today? Hello. Hello.
All right. So everything will be shared on the WhatsApp platform immediately after this class.
Thank you very much.
All right. You're welcome. Is there any question?
Yeah, but I think the slide that this one was also sharing their personal details. So there are people who have been asking in the chat room. They want to know Mr. Lana's handles. Some of them want to follow, some of them want to connect. So please, the slide that this one now has all the details. So you can quickly just screen grab that for yourself. Otherwise, you will find it in the WhatsApp room. Thank you.
All right.
Sure.
Yeah.
You might be
Yes. No, hold on. Wait, he wants to.
Okay, if you have the.
Hello. For our audience online, thank you so much for joining and taking the time. I hope you've learned a lot as I have from Mr. Chairman. Handles, like I said, the conversation will continue in our WhatsApp group, so you really need to be part of it if you are not yet. I think everyone online should be part of it. Don't forget to do your challenges, their social media, post pictures, use the hashtags and these styles as well. It's also people to get the chance.
So the transition between keeping the product.